Okay, we just finished recording the episode and then Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. So we're starting again, okay?
When the simulation glitches like this, we have to address it.
Yeah, so we just watched, literally for us, it happened a few minutes ago. Will Smith just stormed the stage after Chris Rock made a joke about his wife and slapped him in the face. And we watched it like 5 times and we're like, is this a bit?
It's not a bit.
Not a bit. That really happened.
Do you want to play the audio just for those who are playing along at home who may not have seen it?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, this is what happened.
Y'all gotta see it. It's really good. You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win.
All right, here's the joke.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord.
Will's
Jada,
laughing
love
at
you.
this point.
G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
That's a joke.
So he says, Jada, I love ya. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Because she has, what's it called?
She has very short hair,
Yeah.
right? But the reason she has short hair, and this is why Will might be very upset, is because she has alopecia, which makes her hair fall out, so she just shaves it. And she's been public about that. At this point, Will Smith storms the stage.
That was a nice one. Okay.
That was a
I'm out here.
Yeah, so Will must be walking up to the stage.
Nice. Will's walking towards him. People clap, thinking it's a bit. Bang.
Oh, wow.
Even Chris is like, wow. Now
Will
people think
Smith
it's a
just
bit
smacked
still.
the shit out of me.
They're laughing.
Nick-
Not funny anymore.
Wow, dude.
One more?
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your
Fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
I haven't seen King Richard Williams, but fuck, that's why he won Best Actor.
That must be...
That monologue was phenomenal.
Man, then he won Best Actor. That's got to be like top 10 most legendary moments in film ever.
Yeah.
Like slapping a guy for disrespecting your wife and then winning Best Actor.
When Kanye stormed the stage, he didn't win a Grammy.
No. No, he didn't. He didn't win.
And
That's
then,
crazy.
Okay.
Stands there.
He's probably getting yelled at in his ear.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Like, he's good, isn't he?
Okay. So we are here
He's like, why are we here?
to give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out for best doc.
I cannot even imagine. Like, I've bombed before. I cannot even imagine
Yeah.
what it's like to sit in like. Sorry, that was an awful throw. I just like not only to be surrounded by peers and industry people, everyone in Hollywood is in that room.
Yeah.
Not only to bomb, like the joke didn't actually go over that well, and I think he was like, because
Yeah,
he goes, come on, that was a nice one.
I think he was saying that to Will.
No, that's what we do when we go, come on, that's funny. Like that was like
Yeah.
a defense mechanism of
Yeah.
the reception the joke got. Then to get like assaulted
Yeah.
by like the most famous dude in Hollywood.
Man, you think about remember how viral Frenchie went because someone threw a glass at him
Yeah.
in Rockhampton, a small town in Australia. Remember how viral he went? Who gives a fuck about that at all now? If you're like
no one.
he got
Already.
now Chris Rock has been slapped by Will Smith during a comedy bit set.
He's going to be the most famous comedian in the world. Divisive because people have their opinion on it. Like,
He's the most famous comedian.
we're
in the
not
world
here
now
to look.
for
I'm
the
not going to
next
sit here
month.
and like pretend like we have any authority to critique the joke. It wasn't a great one.
I think Will Smith is pathetic. I think that for him doing that is beyond pathetic.
Yeah, and then he won Best Actor about 30 minutes later.
Cool. Really cool.
This has just happened. 18 minutes later.
18
sorry.
minutes later.
Then made the speech, right? He's clearly, the room's like, what is going on? He gets
Yeah.
up there and goes, now King Richard Williams is about Serena Williams' dad, correct?
And
I
he's
haven't seen the
crying.
film.
He's crying.
I actually have no idea, but I think that it's.
I think it's about the
It's about
tennis
Williams,
sisters.
the Williams family and like
and
their father.
he plays the dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, wins Best Actor for it. Gets up there. The first thing he goes is, King Richard Williams was a fierce man who protected his family.
Now that joke, that bombed even harder than Chris Rock's joke. If you
I don't think that was a joke.
people were clapping him up, and then when he tried to be like, "Oh, guys, I was method acting," like it didn't go down well.
And I also like that he used religion as a scapegoat. That was lit. He was like,
Yeah,
when
I
God
thought-
calls upon me to slap the fuck out of Chris Rock.
I thought that was
He didn't say that, but verbatim.
very
Not
pathetic.
verbatim.
But right, here's the extra insight to it. There is a bit of history between those two, and specifically Chris Rock talking about Jada. So in 2016, when Chris Rock hosted the Oscars, he told a bunch of jokes about Jada.
Do you think Chris Rock knew that she had the...
I don't
What's it
think
called? I'm
alopecia.
seeing alopecia.
He had a documentary about black hair, so he knew her condition and the stigma around it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I could see myself making the same joke of
Yeah.
to a guy who had short hair.
Yeah.
But even then, it's alopecia. Like, she's not going to die of it. It's a fairly common thing. My girl's dad has it. It's not, you're a celebrity. It's the Oscars.
You know what
He's
is
a comedian.
interesting about it? It cuts to Will Smith after the joke. He laughs, well, seemingly laughs.
Yes.
And then cuts away back to Chris, and all of a sudden Will Smith's just on stage walking towards him, then slaps him, which means, do you reckon she's been like, babe, I didn't like that one.
If
Go
you
kick
watch
the
it,
shit out
if
of
you
him.
watch it again, maybe we can put it up here. You see the reaction of both of them. So Chris
has a
tells a
giggle.
joke. Will laughs.
He gives it one of these
Jada-
ones. He goes, oh.
Yeah, Will does the ha ha ha, starts looking at his wife. His wife is disgusted. She doesn't laugh at all. She is repulsed.
Yeah.
So I feel like
She's
he
like,
was
get up there and smack the shit out of him, or I'll cheat on you publicly again. All right.
well, I think right. A lot of the. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the Chris
That happened,
Rock.
yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I say stuff.
No, this one is well said.
Okay.
So he previously, we'll get into the cheating stuff next, but so
Oh, great.
Chris has previously joked
Guys,
about
welcome
him.
to the Luke and Lewis 40-minute Will Smith versus Chris Rock special.
Hey, we've got to let the
Today we're
people
going to
know.
be breaking down the 2022 Oscars with my good friend Lewis Spears.
We got to get deeper than all these other reaction channels, okay?
Fuck the episode. This is good. This
Absolutely.
is juicy.
Dude, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. We got to spend some time on it. So in 2016, when Chris Rock was hosting the Oscars, this was when Jada Smith kicked up a stink about the Oscars not being like racially inclusive and said she was boycotting it. And so Chris Rock said about that, Jada got mad, says she's not coming. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. Making a joke about her being on TV shows, not in movies. And then talked a little bit about that. And then he goes, you get mad. You get mad. It's not fair that Will Smith didn't get nominated. It's also not fair that Will Smith was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West. Pretty good joke.
That's funny.
But a pretty strong diss as well. So yeah, they. I guess that's the history, which might have been why he was going, keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
But those jokes are funny.
They're harmless jokes.
Is it just me, or like, I don't know, because I have no idea. But I'll continue my sentence.
Yep. And I encourage
And
you.
that's
And whatever
never-
you say, I agree.
And that's never stopped me before, and it
Yeah.
never will. And I won't change my ways.
Correct.
I would have assumed, like, I think maybe some other people, can't be the only one,
Yeah.
that maybe they would know each other. Hollywood friends. Similar
I would
age.
think so. Surely they've worked
Both
together.
very successful, both
Yeah.
comedic actors. And Will's done comedy in the past, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Or at least
yeah.
comedic acting.
He's done comedic acting. They're both black guys. Surely they would have seen each other.
For some reason, they just like struck me as guys who would play poker sometimes.
I feel like they get on.
I feel like they would too. Because
Yeah.
I mean, before this, kind of thought Will Smith was a pretty fun guy.
Yeah, but maybe that's the act. Maybe that is the act. Because I feel like that was like real letting the mask slip.
Here's another
There's no way like that was an out of character. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that's something that the nice guy
just-
does ever.
You don't hear stuff about Will. You hear stuff about Ellen, James Corden. All this stuff comes out. I met him once. He was a dick.
Yeah.
That stuff slowly starts to spread around.
Yeah,
Never hear any about Will. But also, I'm not Googling Will Smith hearsay.
that's true. So
and
I
rumor.
think also what you touched on about the getting cheated on publicly type thing. I think
He's a bit insecure.
Yeah, I think that maybe for Will, Chris Rock was like, that's the last one.
Do you reckon he
the
was-
last straw? Like, you are the last guy that's going to talk about me and my wife.
Yeah.
That's it. You know he's been wanting to slap someone for all this stuff because it's been like publicly like such a huge meme of him getting cheated on and then her calling it an entanglement, and that whole like just that conversation went about as viral as this moment.
Another one is, do you think, or I have a couple, maybe we'll make this like a bonus ep. Maybe it comes out tonight or something. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think we just upload it straight away.
Yeah, let's do it.
just post
Yeah.
this. But another thing to touch on.
Hear that, guys? Bit of a live insight to the creative process.
Yeah. Just two guys that have like no perspective of what it's like to be in Hollywood or at the Oscars, just breaking it down for you.
Yeah, man, you know what? Editing this down, making coherent, and putting it in an episode, too much work. Just chuck it up now. No edits. Let's go.
Unedited thoughts.
Raw, unfiltered.
I would-
Support us on Patreon.
Few more things I want to touch on.
Yeah.
One is this maybe, three. Do you reckon there will be the conspiracy? Because my dad called me as soon as it happened. Which, when you know that this is big news,
Yeah.
Dad just calls me knowing I'm at work going, "Do you see this?"
Yeah.
Because he watched it and it went to air on the Australian TV unedited. The US broadcast cut.
we didn't say that. That's the funniest thing about it.
Yeah, you guys are on mic, by the way. Oh, okay.
The funniest thing about it is all of the stuff online was from the American version of the Oscars, where it was like heavily cut and censored. On Australian TV, which, by the way, right, what time is it now? It's like 2 p.m.
I think my
right?
dad must have been watching it live because he
It's in
called
the
me
middle
like,
of the day here, and they just let fights and swearing just blast out on TV during the day.
know what's
How
funny
good
is-
is Australia?
It's
my
not,
dad hasn't.
It's not the channel that because they're like, is it syndication? Is that the word?
Yeah.
They're just like live. They're pretty much just live streaming it, so
Yeah.
they actually have no control over what happens.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's the, whatever the American production company
Like, it's
is
not Channel
fault
7's
technically
fault
that it
then.
went.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet there's a dump, but no, that's only on radio.
I'm pretty certain it was muted live. I think it was muted live because the version
maybe
That
it
was in the
was-
American broadcast. The
American
aftermath
broadcast.
was muted live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as Will Smith walks on stage, the first one I watched
That's
on
how
Twitter,
you know it's
went-
real. That's how you know
Yeah, the
it's
audio
not
got
planned
cut, yeah.
because
The audio
the,
got cut.
the Oscars were freaking out. And I feel like you could tell with Chris, obviously he was shocked that he'd been slapped in the face, but he's got people in his ear going, move on, move on, move on.
Yeah, you could tell that
Nah,
he was in Shemozzle.
idiots. This is what's wrong with Hollywood, and you heard it here first. This just feels so stupid this whole time that we're like,
Man,
guy.
I would have just, if I got
If you're the guy in the ear, I would have been like, whoa, dude, you're going to sell so many tickets.
Yeah.
You and Kevin Hart just announced a joint tour. Kevin can take the week off.
Kick Kevin
Fuck
off that
Jumanji
tour.
3.
Get rid of
Just go on tour. Lap it up.
Also, if you want a comedian to keep your wife's name out of their mouth, maybe don't slap them in the face at the Oscars.
Yeah,
Like-
because you know whose special I'm watching next?
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Rock. Didn't catch the
Absolutely.
last couple. If he calls the next
Man.
one Night at the Oscars, I'll be watching.
Today we were not going to talk about Jada Smith sitting on someone else's cock, but now we are because you slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, and now we're talking about her getting into entanglements.
Yeah.
So well done, Will.
Another one. Do you think, because I don't even know what's floating around online because it's just happened, right?
Yeah.
These are pretty raw thoughts. Do you reckon there'll be conspiracies of it was all set up, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
I personally thought straight away that it
That
was
was my
a setup.
first thought, that it was
Because
fake.
the Oscars have been tanking for years now, and this one was apparently really.
It smelt like a publicity stunt until the swearing
The swearing, it's
and
real.
the way Chris Rock reacted where he just went,
Oh my god. Yeah.
and he had 3,000 celebrities looking at him going,
yeah.
I don't know what just happened.
No, I think it's definitely real.
Well, that's the thing. I think the Oscars. I thought for a second I was like, "Oh, this is set up." But then the last thing I remember about the Oscars was the last fuck up they had, which was the La La Land Moonlight Best Picture thing. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
They read out the wrong name, and I can't remember a moment from the Oscars before that I.
Well, this is the thing. This is how you know that it wasn't planned by the Oscars.
why was it?
Because it was good and entertaining. The Oscars does not do that. Like, I loved watching it, and now I'm talking about it. And the Oscars doesn't do that.
The only like point to maybe like to it being like planned would be he was right at the front, conveniently within 10 steps.
Yeah, but
of
he was
Chris Rock.
nominated for Best Actor. That's
true. Yeah, that's
right. But should we get into his? So I think that with the amount of trash that whole family has been getting on social media, I feel like Chris was the last straw, and I feel like he's been wanting to slap anyone. And I guess for Will, that might have just represented all of that. And he was like, great, that's at the fucking Oscars. Now everyone's going to be talking about it. Which again, if you want that to stop, maybe don't slap.
I reckon he
someone.
was definitely drunk, and that was the.
He
I reckon
didn't
was-
look very sober.
Yeah.
I feel like getting
knows?
into an extreme rage and then doing something that impulsive, hitting someone, and then 18 minutes later crying. That's
Yeah.
drunk behavior.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, mentally unstable. Like that's
So how did he not get escorted out?
I think he
because
was.
it's good TV, brother. And they because they knew that he was going to win Best Actor. Like I feel like the producer or whoever's in charge would have to. That would have been discussed of like, oh, we got to kick him out.
Yeah.
But then it would have been no.
Does
he
that mean
wins Best
the
Actor.
world had 18 minutes to back Will Smith for Best Actor?
No, it's decided beforehand, isn't
No,
it?
no,
The
betting.
oh, bet.
Like sports bet.
Yeah.
18 minutes of he's still in the room, he must win.
Man, do you think that
Load
like
up.
somewhere out there, there's a guy that is just sitting looking at $10 million come into his bank account because he put 50 cents on Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe this was a bet.
Yeah. The acceptance speech was wild. He was crying.
Yeah, we'll get into the
I
acceptance
think
speech.
Will was actually the emo girl that Willow was referring to.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
He's like,
I think
it
I've
was just-
got an emo dad.
And my favorite part of this whole thing, and no one's talking about it, you did hear this first, is man, no matter what the situation is, no matter what occurs, Denzel Washington always comes off like a sick lad.
Yeah.
So in the acceptance speech, Will Smith just goes, in a moment, and I read that online, it was like Denzel pulled him aside after he walked on stage, apparently off camera, and just said something in his ear. And that was in the first news article that I read about it. Denzel was seen pulling him in and having a word with him afterwards. And he goes, Denzel said to me, what was it? In your highest...
He said, in your highest moment, that's when the devil comes for you.
Then the camera just cuts to Denzel, and Denzel just raises his drink and goes, uh-huh. And I'm just like, God, you did remember the Titans and you're still the shit.
Denzel Washington's
Yeah.
life is a Denzel Washington movie.
What a sick
He
quote.
is the man on
What
fire.
a sick quote. Man, watching Will Smith smack Chris Rock in the face, I never would have thought that I would respect Denzel Washington more.
How
after
did he
that.
come out of that situation like just a goated alpha, like always?
Yeah, that's what a sick thing to say. But
And
but
those are my
man,
only points. I'm done.
his
I'm
his
tapped out.
acceptance speech, man, how hard would it be for Will to combine an acceptance speech with an apology? That shit was like, I want to thank God, and then it would switch into like YouTuber apology. I'm so sorry. I want to apologize. That's not who
He
I
never
am.
apologized to Chris. Didn't
He
bring up
didn't.
his name.
He made a point. I think he made a point. He apologized to the Oscars, and then he apologized to someone
And
else.
his family.
Nominees.
His family and the nominees, and then he had a really long pause. I'm like, here comes Chris, and then he was like, anyway, so he didn't apologize to Chris.
I would have loved the cut to the change rooms with Chris icing the head, just going like, yeah, look guys, like it was, sometimes jokes go bad. I tried these at the Comedy Store. It went well, but the original room audience is not the same as the Oscars.
You know what I would be doing if I was Chris? I would be on the phone to my booking agent going, make all of the shows change them from theaters to arenas and make the arenas early shows. We're doing 2 a night for the rest
Yeah.
of the year. Book them now.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Chris
I would.
rocks, guys.
He does.
Good one.
But yeah, the joke was like, you know what? He knew after he said it, he went, that mightn't make the broadcast or there, but it's live, so it did, I guess.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I think that was
I reckon he knew. He did the comedian backtrack thing of,
Yeah.
like he was probably maybe having the joke.
Yeah.
And it was barely even like it was a throwaway line. It was
Yeah.
like not like it had this big setup and a crushing punchline. It was
I don't know. It's like
it was a segue joke to get to
Yeah.
his next point. He brought up Will Smith, quickly threw it in, move on.
it also wasn't like a mean joke either. Like he just referenced the fact that she had short hair, which is not. It's not like maybe she doesn't want to have short hair, but it wasn't like you look bad or whatever. It was like a nice little joke. I think it was pathetic from
really
Will.
drunk. Like, 'cause the
Yeah.
joke itself
Hang on.
wasn't
No one's discussing this. Is G.I. Jane hot?
on the way.
Well, isn't it G.I. Joe? Oh,
No, see, G.I. Jane is a female ripoff from the
no,
comic book.
wasn't that the joke? I think.
Her name's
G.I. Jane
Jada.
is a thing.
No, it's a movie.
Really?
I'm looking at it
So,
now. It's a movie from
her name's
1997.
Jada. G.I. Jane is a thing.
Oh,
That was the joke.
It's a
Oh, well
movie
then-
from. It's a movie
Shut the
from
fuck up, Will.
1997, and this is the poster.
Is she hot? Is she hot? It's a chick with short hair. Well, shut the fuck up, dude.
I think that's the full extent of the joke.
It's the equivalent of when I call like Tekashi 6ix9ine a Skittle in my video.
Yeah, like it's not a mean thing. I'm sure he doesn't want to have rainbow hair, but you know, that's what does his look.
Okay, that's you guys. Hey, when you said that, I realized what I said. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's like making fun of someone with a health condition, because that's what happened.
I don't know. I think it was pretty pathetic from Will. And I think, okay, you're Chris Rock. What are you doing?
Now
No,
Icing
in
my
that
head.
you've so
I've got a headache. I'm taking Nurofen, and I'm laughing with my comedian friends.
I don't think I could stop like on stage in the moment. If I get slapped, I would let him go down. I would not retaliate with violence. But if he then starts yelling about keep my wife's name, I reckon I would. I don't think I could do that.
I would have been like, keep those 12 scotches out of your mouth, brother. You're fucked. Leave.
Yeah, you'd have to treat him like a
Yeah.
heckler. I would just go, but you know what? Chris looks good not stooping,
know.
you know? He looks good just taking it and being professional and going, all right, moving on.
Now, what do you
He
reckon?
can't lose that way.
Do you reckon Dana White's rubbing his hands together going, we've got the next UFC Rumble ready to go?
Dude, trademark that. Let's go.
Another one, maybe this is stupid to even bring up, but I assume people will be talking about it because people will intersect, intersect? What's the word? Whatever.
Interject.
Nah, people will
Dissect?
just dissect.
Great.
Man,
that's
do you reckon
that's
this?
so good. I got it. When you're trying to say a word, I have to say like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Before you're like, I hear that one.
Yeah, you're like the Google "Did you mean?"
Yeah.
this feature, which is great. Do you reckon? It probably doesn't. Do you reckon now this sets like a precedent where if you're just sitting watching a comedian and you don't like a joke,
You can just slap
you can
them.
just punch the shit out of them
Yeah.
because they said something about something you didn't like. personally.
Yeah.
but everyone else kind of laughed. Some people laughed in the room. Some people did laugh.
Yeah, that's
you
the
can hear it.
craziest thing is that it didn't exactly bomb.
We're about to do the comedy festival.
Yeah. Look, there's no cameras and no producers in my ear, so at your own peril, guys.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, the guy from Neighbours came to see your show.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fill in from Neighbours. Just smack the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's a clip.
Yeah. Do you reckon that becomes a thing?
Maybe I don't know. I just think that now
It
Will
won't become a thing, but it's wild.
Will Smith's. I don't think anyone's like being like, well done to Will for the slap.
No, they are. Twitter's
Are they
all
really?
over it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
reckon
Jay's going to be getting a lot of love. I think Will Smith will come out of this favorably. And
It is undeniably cool to slap someone in the face and then win Best Actor.
That is pretty.
That's the coolest way to win Best Actor.
Yeah.
Because
That's the
otherwise
coolest
you
thing
just
I've
win Best
seen.
Actor and what? You don't slap anyone? Boring.
He's the second coolest guy in the world right now under Denzel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the wildest thing about it. Under Denzel.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take the wrong stance. We're like
I
Will
think
Smith,
it's
a
I
bit
think
of
he's,
a.
pathetic.
It's like
Yeah.
you know what? You could have just if you didn't like the joke, have a word with him after.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
sure they would know each other, or they're in the same room, they're on the same night. You can even like show the camera that you didn't like that and go, nah. You can do that. You can come across as a boss.
Ludacris
like
did it to a lot of people at the Justin Bieber roast when they made jokes about Paul Walker. He just
Yeah.
went, nah.
Yeah.
I hate that. And then Chris D'Elia's talked about it on podcast saying Ludacris walked up to me afterwards and was like, hey man, he goes, nah, I don't like what you said. And Chris was like, that wasn't even me, but I just couldn't be bothered to correct him. He's like, I'm pretty sure it was like the other white guy. He's like, I didn't make a joke about Paul Walker.
Yeah.
And Ludacris now hates me.
Yeah. So, but I heard what happened then was actually Denzel Washington walked up to Ludacris and was like, it was actually that guy.
Yeah. And
He's
then,
like, oh, cool.
and I was like, you're so cool, man. Thanks so much for everything. Yeah, I loved you in every film. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
our take.
That's our take. Hot take. It happened like literally about how long is this clip? 25 minutes? 25 minutes
I'm
ago.
now interested to see what the internet thinks of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we wrong? Is Will Smith actually a legend?
That's what's juicy about this take is we haven't digested other people's opinions
bias,
about
yeah.
it so
This
far.
is a purely 100% us.
We're not just regurgitating Twitter's thoughts.
Yeah.
So this is raw and authentic.
All right. We'll see what you guys think by the time this is up.
See
Also,
ya.
there'll be an episode tomorrow. And get tickets to our shows.